Welcome to Taking Notes. My name is Deborah Seftel, and I'm the host of our program. We're going to be presenting a series of short videos about music and arts in our community, helping to get people a little more knowledge on how they can become a part of the musical community and how they can become part of taking notes. So our first show is going to be about the string family. We're going to go through the families of instruments in the orchestra, and the string family is the largest family of instruments. There are more players playing strings than any other instrument in the orchestra. So that seems like a good place for us to start. And if you are a student and looking to participate in music, you should be taking notes. If you're a parent and want your child involved in music, you should be taking notes. And if you're an adult and you want to get involved in the musical community, this is your chance to take some notes. So we're going to be going over to the music shop in a minute to talk about and meet our guest star, Mel Passler. But before we do that, when we see the instruments and they all look pretty much the same, just in different sizes, I want you to also know that each of these instruments also comes in a size. So the violin is the premier instrument of the string family. It gets the melody the most often, and you can see that it's about this size, which is going to be the smallest of the instruments that Mel presents. But the instruments in the string family, unlike all the other instruments, also come in sizes. So if you're a small child, you don't have to play an adult instrument. You get an instrument that's just your size. And this is really tiny, so this would be a very small child. But as you grow, rather than having to reach for an adult instrument, you've got an instrument that's sized to you and will grow with you. So that's something unique about those stringed instruments. And as I say, we're going to go over to the music shop and meet Mel, and we'll find out a little bit more about those as well. So we're on the road now, on location at the music shop to preview the stringed instruments. And my friend Mel Passler is going to be talking to us about what they are, what they sound like, giving some demonstrations. But first, Mel, can you tell us a little bit, why do you play the stringed instruments and when did you start?
Sure. I started in third grade with violin, and then I decided to branch out a little bit, and I went to viola and cello and bass. Actually, I think bass was next, and then viola and cello kind of came in together in high school.
It wasn't enough to carry this to
no,
school.
You know, I had to choose the biggest one.
The muscles, right.
Yeah.
And my son plays, and I know just getting the car that fits the instrument was like a challenge.
And I have a small car, but somehow
it's the right
rises
car.
to the challenge.
All right. So if you'd like to tell us what we got here.
Yeah, so this smaller one here is a violin. It looks very similar to the viola. There are only a few differences with full-size violin, and this is a 16-inch viola. So violins go by quarter size, half size, three-quarter size, and full size, and then violas go by inches. So you've got like 15, 15 and a half, 16, 16 and a half for those people with real long arms. So the viola, the violin starts with G, D, A, E, the strings, and sounds like this. Just play a scale first. It's the right bow. And in contrast to a similar scale on viola, you've got a little lower, more mellow sound. So on the strings here, you've got C, G, D, and A, which is a little different. So now I'll show you what the same song on two instruments is going to sound like. So going back to the higher instrument, the violin, it's called Sonatina by James Hook. Okay, so now if I'm playing the same song piece On viola, it sounds even a little different, though it's the same notes being played. So transitioning from the viola over to the cello, we've got the same strings going on here. So we've got C, G, D, and A. But although they are the same strings as the cello over here, it's going to sound a lot deeper because in a cello, there's more space to resonate the sound. I'll play the same scale that I did on the viola. Okay, so transitioning to the bass over here, we have the same strings actually as that tiny violin over here. However, they are in opposite order. So whereas the violin, the lowest string is the G, over here, the bass, the lowest string is the E, followed by A, D, and G, all the way at the top. The bass is commonly bowed and plucked. You'll see almost the equal amount of music being called for bowings and pluckings. So I'll play a G major scale just to switch things up. So you notice it's really low. Okay. And then if we're plucking, it's going to sound a little different, but you see a lot of plucking done in jazz, see a lot of plucking done in musicals. So it's really a good scale to have good skill to have as well. So the same scale plucked sounds like this.
Thank you, Mel. This is terrific. So we've got similar looking instruments, sounding differently, but all with those four strings and really the heart of that orchestra, although I may be prejudiced.
I mean, I agree.
String players agree. And in the time of pandemic, the cleanest instrument.
Also true.
So many good things to recommend the string family. Thank you for doing this. You're off to, what are your other occupations these days?
I work in a hospital. I'm a counseling intern. I do some web design. I teach economics. So a little bit of everything.
Things that are not even music.
No.
And a lot of music.
And a lot of music as well. I'm doing Addams Family next.
Fabulous.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing with us.
Thank you for having me.
All right. That was terrific. Thanks to Mel for giving us those demonstrations on things from violin, viola, cello, all the way up to the bass. It's great to see that those instruments can, really transform a section. And as I say, there are more people playing those instruments than anything else in an orchestra. So each week we're going to close out and have our videos played off by a local ensemble. So since we're talking strings today, our group playing us out is going to be from the Allegro Academy over at the Music Shop. The junior strings, the conductor is Jim Scanlon, and we have a guest conductor in our video, Genevieve Salemi. So we're going to see that in a moment. Our next show is going to be about the woodwinds, blowing in the woodwind. And we're going to learn all about those instruments. Maybe some of you play those. So please stay tuned. Remember to be taking notes. Keep a song in your heart and be kind to each other. Let's hear the junior strings.